Good morning everyone. Today we're going to take a look at 4 products made right here in the Philippines. Now more than ever it's important to buy local, support local. We'll start by taking a look at this gorgeous mahogany laptop stand made in Muntinlupa City. This is made from mahogany, and the first thing I asked them was, is it from a renewable source? And they said yes, it's from a tree farm, and every time they consume wood they're planting new trees. So let's set this up and take a look. So let's start with the packaging, because it comes with a canvas bag, and this is actually super useful because when you're finished using this you just put it in the bag and then move it out of the way because it's flat pack, it doesn't take up much space. So as you can see here, it came from Renditions Furniture and Accessories, Philippine flag, locally made. Now they sent this to me for free to test out, and I have to admit I have used other laptop stands in the past, but usually they were made of plastic with metal and they've always broken. That's why I like this wooden one, because it's so tough, there's no way this is going to break, and the angle is really nice. So look at that, it just slots together, very easy, very simple. And anyone who's wondering why do you need a laptop stand, well, if you put your laptop onto a soft surface like this, what happens is the air exhaust gets blocked and then your laptop starts to overheat. That's why you need to use a stand like this. And with a lot of people now working at home, studying at home, they're probably going to be interested in these kind of stands. Another thing I like is because of the opening at the back, you can actually put a fan back here, direct the air in there and cool it down. And that's actually what I do when I'm editing and exporting videos. I use a fan to help cool the laptop. So this is how it looks. You can see it's held nice and secure. There's no way it's going to slip off there. Sorry, by the way, about the state of my laptop. This is already 7 years old, so the keys are worn out. I've had to use tape to hold certain parts together, but nonetheless the stand itself actually works really well. Now, aside from laptop stands, they also have something for your cell phone. Again, this could be useful for students. It just slides together like that and then goes back. Let me lift the camera. And there you go, you now have a place for your cell phone. It can go in that slot, it could go in this slot. It's also large enough to handle tablets. I don't have one here to demonstrate it, but you get the idea. It has these slots here to accommodate a cell phone or tablet. And the reason for these holes is so that you can charge your device at the same time. I can take my USB charge cable, slide it through one of the holes, connect it to my cell phone, and there you go, the cell phone is secure and charging at the same time. You could put your phone over here, you could put your book here, and then you can do your homework. You could be watching a movie here. Many different uses. Again, this is mahogany from a renewable tree farm. The next product is actually a food item, but this is no ordinary food. This is a meat-free sausage from Veega, which is a brand under the San Miguel food group. Now this is a vegetarian sausage. This is great if you're missing meat or if you're just bored of tofu. So this is a soy-based product, but it tastes very similar to a real sausage. I've been vegetarian for over a decade, and I have to say this is one of the best sausages. It's not the best, but it's definitely like second or third. It's 120 pesos for 4 pieces, but what I'm worried about is just like when corn came to the Philippines, which is a competing product, the price was really low to start with, and then after a few months they hiked the price like 3 times. So I'm really praying and hoping that San Miguel will keep this reasonably priced so the vegetarians have an option without, spending everything they have. So this is how it looks. Let me focus the camera. This is actually not looking that great because I just threw it in the toaster oven and it expanded a little bit. You can cut this, you can fry it, there's so many ways to cook it, but the thing that matters is the taste. Now, I'm not technically a foodie, so I'm not going to make this too long, but I can tell you that to me, this tastes fantastic. It's filling, and I've been eating this every day since I found out about it. Here is how it looks inside. It's not too soft, but it's not quite as chewy as a real sausage. Somewhere in the middle, but definitely if you're a vegetarian, check this out. They also have meat-free chicken nuggets, meatballs, they have burgers, but so far this was my favorite. The next item we're going to take a look at is this face shield made in Marikina City that sells for just 30 pesos. Now you can already see this is a much thicker plastic. That means it's going to last longer and it's easier to sanitize. The system to attach it to your head is quite clever. It's a Velcro strap. That means you have easy adjustment. And what you'll see is that this is attached using rivets. So unlike some other face shields, like the Hongdae, where these clamps often come undone and then the sheet falls on the floor, that's not going to happen with this one because they've riveted it. As for the head strap itself, they say this is a synthetic leather, but to me it just feels like plastic, and that's okay because it makes it easy to sanitize. You don't want something that's porous that will absorb sweat and potentially viruses and bacteria. You want something like a plastic material that's really easy to wipe down with alcohol, bleach, soap, whatever your preferred method is. Another feature of this face shield is that it can flip up. So if you want to move away from people, isolate yourself, take a breather, flip it up, and then when you're around people, you can flip it down again. Face shields are especially important now because they're required in more and more places, public transport, malls, public markets. I think pretty much soon we're going to have to wear these everywhere. You don't have to buy from China, you can buy locally made in Marikina City, 30 pesos. And the final item we're looking at today is the Pure Mask from MyMed Plus. This is a surgical mask that's made right here in the Philippines in Manila City. There's an interesting story about this. You remember we had the volcano that erupted, let out a lot of smoke and particles. Everyone rushed to get masks and it became hard to get them. Then we had the pandemic, it became even harder to get them. So Joe Solomon from Pure Force set up a local manufacturing making face masks, high quality face masks right here in the Philippines. Now I actually plan to buy these because I'm so tired of the ones being sold on Shopee and Lazada, fakes, low quality, substandard. They're just not up to the quality that you would expect. So I reached out to Joe Solomon and said, hey, I want to buy some of your masks. And he said, don't worry, I'll just send you some. So thank you for that. And the quality of these, it's just, you can't even compare it. So here's one of the masks. They actually have different ranges, but this one here is the PN994 ply. So this is their top of the line face mask, surgical face mask. On the outside you have the hydrophobic layer that stops water from passing through. So if someone coughs or sneezes nearby, the droplets might land on your mask. Hopefully they won't because you're wearing a face shield, but if they do land on your mask, they won't pass through because it's hydrophobic. So that's the outside layer. Then the next layer is a filter material. So that's what's hopefully going to stop things from passing through to your mouth, to your nose. Then they have another filter material. So there's actually two different filters in here. They're not even the same, they're different filters. So that's 3 layers. And then on the inside you have the absorbent layer. This is what's going to catch your droplets. So if you cough or sneeze, instead of them going into the air, it's going to be absorbed into the middle here. When you feel this mask, you can already tell its quality. The nose bar is quality. Some of the ones being sold for cheap, they don't even have a nose bar. How can you get a good fit on your face if there's no nose bar? Or instead of using a metal nose bar, they're using plastic, which doesn't hold its shape. So I got so tired of these fake and substandard surgical masks that this is what I wanted to use. So we'll start by testing the hydrophobic properties. We'll turn it inside out and then fill it with water. And you'll see I'm actually going to put a lot of water in here, far more than what would actually be expected to land on your mask. Now I spilled a little bit off the edge there, but what you'll see is nothing is passing through the mask itself. It's completely dry underneath, and that is a lot of water. So for sure the outside layer has the hydrophobic properties that we're looking for. So let's pour the water back in here. Now that's good to see, but what I really want to know is, do these filter particles as well as they claim? So let's use our air quality sensor and put it to the test. So here's our basic test. We have two vessels. This one here contains our air quality sensor, or PM 2.5 sensor. And then this one here contains our contaminant, a kind of smoke. And then we have an air transfer pump. Every time I pump this, it sucks air from here and puts it into the jar. Now the air pipe going into the jar has been terminated with a piece of the mask, the pure surgical mask. So any air that goes into here will first pass through the mask, and we'll see how it performs at filtering those PM 2.5 particles. Now in this case, our contaminant will actually be a vape. Okay, so we've trapped that inside. Let's zoom in on the meter and let's run the transfer pump 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so watch this number here. We're up to 21 micrograms per cubic meter, and actually it seems pretty stable there. So that did a pretty good job at filtering out the PM 2.5 particles. Here we go. And you can see it's all coming out now. So that was a fair test. We'll do the same test, but this time using a low quality surgical mask that was bought from Shopee. So again, you'll see it's a little bit smoky in there. Let's zoom in on the meter. It's currently reading around 21, 22 micrograms per cubic meter. Let's give 10 pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you can see we're up to 80, 101. So immediately you can see that this mask has performed much worse. Okay, hit 150. Let's see how high this goes. Okay, 158, and it looks like it's on its way down. Let's zoom out and prepare for the next test. And now we're going to test another generic surgical mask from Shopee, but this one is better quality. So again, you can see our chamber is kind of smoky. Let's zoom in on the air quality monitor. Let's pump 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's monitor the number. So for sure, this isn't rising as quickly as the last one. So we just hit 50. Now if we run this test without any filter at all, you'll see we're going to get some crazy high readings. Let's remove this. It's very tight. So let's zoom in. I'm not going to let it reset completely because we're about to spike the numbers anyway. We still have some smoke in our chamber here. Let's pump 10 times. And watch as this number goes up. So you can see we've already hit 397, 460, 500. So definitely surgical masks can make a difference, especially if it's a high quality surgical mask. So we've hit 657, 680. We hit around 760 and it's on the way back down. Now of course this is not completely scientific, it's not up to lab standards, but it just gives you an idea, a comparison between different masks. Now some people say, why do you care about the filtering performance of a surgical mask? Because when you wear it, there are openings at the side, there are openings at the bottom and the top where air can come in. So you're not necessarily taking in filtered air. Well, if you've been to a hospital recently, you've probably seen a lot of medical professionals, doctors, nurses wearing a mask that looks like this. This is called the Gil Mask. It has a silicone inside which creates a seal against your face. Now obviously I would shave this before I go out in public wearing this so I can get a good seal. But the way it works is it actually has replaceable filters. So this comes down and then your filter comes out. And what you'll see is it's actually using surgical masks. You cut a section of surgical mask out, make your own filter and install it in the Gil Mask. That's why I wanted a high quality surgical mask. If you're interested in an in-depth review of the Gil Mask, just let me know and I'll make another video. This is not made in the Philippines, but it is a pretty cool mask. So there you go. That was another episode of products made in the Philippines. Buy local, support local. Thanks for watching.